Before you die, take heart. I will destroy your order and everything it stands for.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Happy Halloween! Since there was no Legend of Korra this past Friday, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the new Jonathan Rhys Meyers Dracula series. As expected, it's a little bit silly, so let's do a super quick recap and kind of set up the world of the story, and then talk about favorite moments and do my review. So the series is set in late 1890s London. Just to give you some context for the world at that time, that's about 20 years before season 1 of Downton Abbey and World War I. Jonathan Rhys Meyers is Dracula, as the picture kind of gives away. He's revived from hundreds of years of imprisonment by Van Helsing to fight this secret organization called the Order of the Dragon. The story is based on Bram Stoker's original text, but it kind of gets crossed a lot with the Count of Monte Cristo and becomes this revenge story for Dracula and Van Helsing. So they're working together in this version of the tale. On the show, Dracula does not go by the name Dracula. He goes by this fake public persona called Alexander Grayson. He's posing as this American industrialist who's moved to London to try and sell his wireless power technology. He also has a very notable American accent, which I will talk about during my review. So if you've ever read Dracula or seen any version of the story or retelling of the story, all the main characters are there. Van Helsing, Renfield, Mina, Jonathan Harker. All the characters' relationships on this show evolve in the same way they do during Bram Stoker's story, with the exception of Van Helsing. That's one of the most notable changes because now he's working with Dracula. I like to think of that as Winchester style, like when the Winchesters work with Crowley. It's all about the devil you know. So let's talk favorite moments. First off, Jonathan Rhys Meyers is a great actor. I love him. I loved him on Tudors, with the exception of the last season a little bit. That got a little bit ridiculous. But I'm really looking forward to his version of Dracula on this show. Even before I saw the first episode, I knew it was going to be a lot of fun, even if it was going to be a little bit silly. But right off the bat, the ballroom introduction scene with all the dancers dancing together, they had just this awesome synchronicity that made it seem really fantastical and really dreamlike. I really liked the introduction to the Order of the Dragon that Jonathan Rhys Meyers and Renfield gave us after the party. They were all looking at those pictures. It was this really nice montage and kind of set up who the villains are on the show. I also love the first meeting of Dracula and Mina. I feel like that relationship is so important to the story of Dracula that in any time the tale gets retold, everyone always pays special attention to their scenes together. But what did I think of the episode overall? Well, I really liked it, but it was a little bit silly for one really notable reason: the accent. Oh my god, the accent. All I could think about when he was talking with that accent as the Alexander Grayson character and not when he was talking as Dracula was the actual accent. It was very distracting. I'm hoping that they kind of tone it down just a little bit if the series gets picked up. What happens is when they greenlight a show, they'll shoot like 6 or 8 episodes and then they might get picked up. So usually they get notes and the fans will kind of give feedback. So if they want to make changes, it usually doesn't happen until after the 8th episode or so. So if you think it's silly now, it might get better. But I do understand that it's kind of part of this fake persona that Dracula has set up for himself as this American industrialist. But I don't know why he couldn't just use his British accent when he's Alexander Grayson too. I mean, there are people born in America that still have British accents. I don't understand why he has to speak like he's from Virginia. I think what the showrunners are trying to do is kind of imply that the Order of the Dragon won't take him seriously because he's so American. Let's talk about Renfield though. I love this version of Renfield. I'll call him Mega Renfield. He's like Renfield on steroids. Usually every other version of the character is really small and weak and looks like they're addicted to heroin. So this is actually going to be a lot of fun. It looks like he's going to be a nice foil for Dracula. I haven't really seen enough of Mina and Jonathan Harker together to do a real assessment of those characters. In a lot of the other versions of the story, they're really kind of throwaway characters. Mina is kind of like this person who's just waiting to be rescued from boredom by Dracula, and Jonathan Harker is just not a viable romantic rival for any other version of Dracula. But I think they're really trying to develop those characters on this show and set up Mina as this really ambitious young woman, and Jonathan Harker is this really well-acquitted reporter. So I'm interested to see how those characters develop. And let's end by talking about one of the most important characters, Van Helsing. It's all about the devil you know. I love that in this version of the story, he's working with Dracula. They kind of set up that they don't like each other. It's just the devil you know. So basically, the Order of the Dragon did something terrible to both of them in their lifetimes. So Van Helsing kind of felt like he needed to revive Dracula to fight them. But let me know what you thought of the episode, and are you going to be watching every week? I'll definitely be watching, but since it's on the same night as Legend of Korra, I won't be doing weekly videos for it. If you guys really want me to talk about it, I might use my Tumblr for that, so be sure and follow me on Tumblr. I'll be posting my Walking Dead Episode 3 video tonight around 9 p.m. Pacific time. Be sure to subscribe to get it. I'll also be posting a video for the 10th Doctor Revisited tomorrow, since there's no Sleepy Hollow. As always, if you really want to help me out, please like and share this video. You can click here to watch that new Walking Dead video, and you can click here to watch my very special Game of Thrones Halloween video. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Halloween, high five. See you guys tonight.